Hey, Randy Hunter here from beginningsax.com, and in this quick licks and tips video I want to talk with you quickly about overtones. But why? As sax players, we've got a couple of things in common. We all love playing with great tone, but we all hate playing overtones. I mean, there are few sax players that really get off on playing overtones, but there's a great reason for doing overtones, and I'm going to show you there's many reasons for doing overtones, so I'm going to take you through a few of these, and I'm going to show you the way I like to practice overtones these days. Now, you may have seen my overtones and embouchure video where I have you go up an octave and then a fifth and then to the second octave. I still like using those particular overtones, but I like doing them in a matching kind of manner, a matching overtones practice session. So you may have heard that term, and if you haven't, I'll show you what that means. Now, we'll just do overtones based on low B flat in this video, and I'll tell you why in a minute too. There's some good reasons, but we'll just do overtones based on the low B flat. So you play your low B flat, and the first overtone is an octave above that. So I'm using the low B flat fingering, and I'm producing a middle B flat. But to do a matching overtone, let's take the biz key B flat fingering. And if you don't know what that is, check out my sax licks and tips video on the biz key B flat. I've got one, I can't remember what number it is, but you can find it. So I'm going to play the biz key B flat, and then I'm going to change fingerings to the low B flat fingering and produce the same tone using the low B flat. Biz key, low B flat. Now, when you do this, have your tuner in front of you, and you'll probably see that the overtone B flat is likely sharp. It is for most folks. So if you've got your tuner in front of you, you can use your throat when you play the overtone. But use your throat rather than your embouchure. You don't want to do this with your teeth and your lips. You want to use your throat to pull this overtone in tune. And I don't have a tuner in front of me. I'm just going to use my ear and get it as, I'm going to get it fairly close. So you might hear the overtone go. Now, the next overtone is an F. So I'm going to play an F2, that's an F with an octave key. Then I'm going to go to the low B flat fingering and play that overtone. And again, it's sharp also. So I'm pulling it down again with my throat. Da, do, oh. So I'm pulling the throat down. Oh, I'm not letting the embouchure move, so I'm trying not to let the chin or the teeth or anything like that move. It's all in the throat. And then the next overtone will be the high B flat. So again, I'm going to use the high B flat with the biz key fingering. And I'm going to go to the overtone fingering, the low B flat fingering. And it tries to go to that plaid multiphonic tone. I'm trying to keep the overtones centered in while I adjust the pitch with my throat. So if it goes to the plaid sound, the multiphonic sound, that's okay. Try to center it in though. I think I'm still kind of sharp on it, but hopefully you get the picture. So I'm doing the middle B flat, F, high B flat. Now, the reason these overtones are so important is they help you generate the control that we'll call voicing. So you learn to voice the note in tune. Now, as you probably know you've got certain notes on the saxophone, like maybe the middle D that has a tendency to go sharp. Sometimes the high G on alto will go sharp. And by the way, you can do all this stuff on alto too. I know I'm doing it on tenor. But these notes go sharp. But when you start learning how to voice things like these overtones so that they speak in tune, then you can learn to pronounce your notes in tune the other notes. You know, the better you learn your instrument, the better you learn to speak these notes so that they're in tune. Now, also, if you're, say, a Johnny Hodges fan with, he's famous for those big scoops and bends. Well, I'm doing that big scoop and bend using the same mechanism in my throat that I've learned to control with these overtones, speaking these overtones into and getting the overtones to pronounce. So I'm using the same mechanism. So one thing you might practice is just taking notes and using that same mechanism in your throat to pull those notes in tune. Another thing is vibrato. A lot of times we think about vibrato being created with the jaw, and that's the way we often learn how to play vibrato at first, but a more advanced form of vibrato comes from the throat and the tongue. Oi, 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 oi. So there, I'm using some vibrato generated in the tongue and throat, very similar to the control that I've developed doing these overtones. So that's just a few things. You can also work at creating all kinds of different qualities of sound that come from the throat control that you're working to develop with these matching overtones. So that's just kind of a brief introduction now to the matching overtones and the purposes behind them. Be sure to practice the same concepts based on the low B flat, middle B flat, F sharp, high B flat. Your other overtone series that you want to work is the low C, middle C with C fingering, the G, play the high G, then the overtone G based on the C, and then the high C and the low C, and also the C sharp, middle C sharp, high G sharp, and high C sharp, playing their traditionally fingered counterparts first. Okay, so hit the practice room with these overtones, and that's why.